All right, LSU football boosters touched off a social media firestorm after posting photos of the Tigers' glitzy new locker rooms.
Yeah, that's the topic of this week's commentary by Eyewitness News political analyst and Gambit columnist Clancy.
I love LSU football as much as anyone, but I donate to higher ed academics. I'm not against the shiny new locker room for LSU's football team, but I agree with my friend, LSU professor Bob Mann, who has tried for years to shame state lawmakers into finding money to repair LSU's leaky, run-down Middleton Library. The contrast of the privately funded new locker room with LSU's publicly funded library is a classic case of an embarrassment of riches. In a better world, there would be enough money for new athletic facilities and new libraries, not just at LSU, but at all public universities. Hopefully, this will be an issue in the upcoming statewide elections.
This has been an expression of opinion by Clancy. Email your thoughts to commentary@wwltv.com.